Carl's look at him. Carl looks at you like a cat.
Yeah.
Whenever we leave him behind, if we don't talk, like, straight at him and let him see our lips moving, and it's, you know, monosyllabic and very slow. Look, he's lost in that conversation there. He just drifted off, didn't you, Carl?
No, I just was also thinking on animals and that. Something else I was going to use.
Go on.
Was,
This isn't a radio show, is it? I just suddenly caught myself. This is nothing.
I told you that before. It's been bad today.
No, but I mean, it's the way, this casual way that it's like we almost have no regard for our listener. And I'm not proud of that. I just don't know what to do about it. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how to do this properly. I mean, we're just chatting here. I mean, it's only Anderson who's seen through us, and that surprises me, that more people haven't. I mean, what are the figures like? Do people listen to this show?
I'll find out for you.
You keep saying that.
But, yeah, there's this parrot, and, apparently it lives
I mean, Rick, it's unique, if nothing else. I mean, when you wake up with Woken tomorrow, you're not even going to hear him start a line with there was this parrot.
Go on, there was this parrot, yeah, go on.
And it can talk and that. Someone's obviously, you know, taught it how to speak and that. And, it flew away, and it's living in this church, right? And people are at the church doing hymns and that, and then
Trouble's brewing.
In between the hymns.
That parrot was owned by an old miner who used to swear a lot.
Yeah.
Well,
then the vicar is going to be really annoyed. That vicar, that vicar's gonna go on.
I just hope he stays quiet, Rick, during the vicar's sermons.
Yeah, go on.
have you read it?
No, go on. Have you read it?
No, because that's what happens, right?
Go on, tell us, Carl.
During the hymns, it's sort of effing and jeffing and stuff.
Effing and jeffing?
Yeah.
And everyone's like going, oh, you know, it's quite funny, really, you know, it doesn't know what it's doing. Everyone's having a laugh.
Yeah.
But it's causing a havoc at funerals.
When did this happen?
Not years ago.
John was a much-loved man. He was a wanker!
Yeah.
So, anyway, so that was another story.
What can you say about Uncle John?
Bollocks.
Oh, Carl, I love the fact that when you look at things, you go, that's interesting. A parrot swears at funerals.
That'd be amazing.
And it stays with you. You see, for a simple man, you retain an awful lot of knowledge. It's just all rubbish.
Do you
know what I mean? If you just replaced all this rubbish with good stuff, you'd be an intellectual.
Yeah.
Really. Because, I mean, your retention is fantastic.
Yeah. So
Did I lose you again there, did I?
So
was it the word retention?
We've still got, Wash Up With You.
yeah. Should we play a record and do Wash Up With You?
Yeah, we'll play a bit of Aqualung.
Aqualung! Alright, that's Aqualung. Good time's gonna come, innit? Right, Carl, come on in, educating Ricky. So, don't let the cat out of the bag, that's where that comes from. Comes from a crafty butcher. Right, go on in.
So the next little headline is, Wash Up With You.
Wash Up With You, go on.
You wanna know about that?
Yes.
It's a survey that they did this week.
They?
Yeah, some university did some survey.
Brilliant.
Did a world test on washing up.
Yeah.
And each country were given 140 pots to clean. Brits were the quickest. Yeah. Turkey were the slowest at washing up.
The Turks.
It's not because the little fellas that work in the kitchens with no, is it?
They can't reach.
Spain were the cleanest, and the Germans were pretty good as well. So.
I don't know where to start with this. Honestly, Steve, I don't know where to start with that. Look at his face.
It was really light, right? We've had the parrot, right? These are things that I found. Found the parrot, right? I've told you about the dog in the car wash.
Right, you didn't tell me about that. You said there's a car wash for a dog. That's what you told me.
Yeah,
the
but
parrot, you said there's a parrot. What? It's a problem at funerals.
Yeah.
That's nothing. That's nothing. It's nothing. Do you understand?
And,
they used to eat cats.
what else have we got? There's an elephant in India with sore feet.
Why?
There's an elephant in India with sore feet.
No, I'm interested. Why?
Tap dancing?
Why?
I didn't write that
He's
much
trying to
about it.
break Roy Castle's record. He's still going.
Go on, what is it? What is it? Think.
It's an elephant, and it was really old. It was about 76.
Right.
And it had sore feet, because it's old, and
They don't make stair
and
lifts
the
that
roads
big, do they?
roads are bad and that.
Yeah, go
so,
on.
They said, what are we going to do? And the town was like, oh, you know, we're used to seeing it around, it's part of the thing, you know, we don't want it to have sore feet.
Yeah.
So they got some slippers made for it. And it had like a picture of the elephant looking happy wearing some slippers.
I love him! I love Carl, his world! Where did you see this picture?
That was on the internet.
Right.
That's a lesson, though, for any elephants listening. You know, don't wear stilettos to work every day.
No.
Because it can do your feet in.
So that
But
it's
don't elephants have really bad memories?
no, they're really good memories.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's good then. No, I just thought they'd forget where they put them. I thought there was something about elephants having bad memories and that.
It goes on, where's my slippers?
Yeah.
I'm sure I left them by the test.
So, sorry, there's an elephant walking around wearing slippers?
Yeah, that's in
What kind
India.
of slippers? Those sort of old man ones with the sort of checkered
well, round
design.
ones, I imagine.
Yeah.
Big round ones.
There was that going on.
And is it happening? Is it happier? I mean, does it feel more
Yeah,
satisfying?
it looked it.
Did it look? How can you tell for elephants, please?
What else is there? There was a woman who's had a breast insured for 150 grand.
Right.
Okay.
Okay,
Any more
what?
information there?
What? Third party fire and theft?
Don't know, it had a picture of her with them, like, you know, out. I just thought, yeah, you should get them covered.
He's done another real joke!
Brilliant, that's a proper joke.
He's done, look at his little face, he smiles.
I'd like to see you on one of the sort of TV panel games. If they could bring back sort of celebrity squares, it'd be amazing as the centre square.
Oh, that would be
Wouldn't
incredible.
That be or on that countdown in Dictionary Corner.
I imagine him in Dictionary
Well,
Corner.
I'd come up with cat. If that helps at all.
Yeah. Memblent.
Yeah, what does that mean, Carl?
Just anything you want it to mean. Oh, what I've got, there's a dog that's got a cough in Singapore because it smokes 20 a day. Right, okay, another one.
No, it was the last one in it, so we'll save it. The last one we've got is why don't we
Sorry, what was that? Wash up with you, that was it? But was that it? Survey of washing pots and
I
pans.
didn't understand, you said Italy were the cleanest.
No, Spain.
No, Brits were the quickest.
Yeah.
We were the quickest, but Italy was the
Spain was
cleanest.
the cleanest.
Turkey were the slowest.
Yeah.
Spain were the cleanest.
But why weren't we clean then? Because we were washing up. Why were we not paying attention to the
We
bits
did it
of dirt
rubbish, we
whistle?
did it quick.
We did it quickly, but I don't understand what it was
Hold
being
on,
rated on.
who was doing it? Was it Lynette Newman or Ainsley Harriott?
She's quick. Both of them are quick.
Yeah.
Well, they've got like kind of loads of slaves that do it for them.
Did we use fairy liquid?
Don't know, it didn't have
Did
all
we use a
that.
whole bunch of Boy
Didn't
Scouts?
say that. Just
Like
said, it just said, you know, that.
Who had the softest hands?
volunteer for that?
Who had the softest hands?
So it didn't say, I didn't.
Why is it we don't get notified that this is taking place?
I don't know.
When I was a kid, no one ever said, you know, we need recruits because we're doing a survey on who can wash up the quickest.
Are you disappointed in yourself with that one, Carl?
It is pretty dull, to be fair, and that is why we've got to bring in either con merchant or a wine merchant.
Or shut up at your face.
Yeah.
Would you be able to, if I put you on the spot in the next, sort of after the next record, would you be able to give an example of how con merchant would work? I mean, is there something you could do, just sort of experiment?
Should we play a record? Should we play a record?
Play a
I've
tune,
got a
what's
cough.
that?
I can do better than that.
What?
Ads.
Go on.
Oh.
Travis on XFM 104.9 on Ricky Gervais with me, Steve Merchant, Carl Pilkington. We're doing Educating Ricky. Right, final one. Come on, Carl.
Right, what was it? It was, why don't they just get a diary or some paper or something to write on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Snappy.
I couldn't think of a heading for it. It's basically,
Go on.
people who have tattoos, I've never understood it, right? That they have something put on their arm.
Right, sorry. Have we started the educate? Is this part of it? Are you educating me? This is something that will be useful in my life that I didn't know about.
Yeah.
Go on then.
No, it's just that they've got a machine out, right, that does tattoos. You come up with a design you want, and you sort of this machine scans it, and you put your arm in this thing, and you press print or whatever, and then it does the tattoo on your hand or on your
What,
arm.
like loads of little needles that follow a pattern?
Yeah,
computer, is it?
basically, yeah.
Is it a real tattoo? It's a proper
It's a proper one. The fella said,
Well, as long as it goes out, it pierces the skin with a.
I just wondered if it's one of those kind of, you know, those kind of...
No, it must be lots of little needles or a moving needle that can go
Sorry,
along
but
it.
how is this cleaned, like, in between each person?
dunno, probably, I don't know.
Well, no, it's only that if it's one needle, it's just the head, isn't it? If it's one needle that moves, and does it like like loads of little...
What are we gaining from a machine doing it?
Just because you know they're not going to sort of mess it up.
But hold on, how do you keep your arm still? Because your skin moves slightly. It's the machine
It's sort
won't...
of strapped. to your arm.
Right,
And
so
the
it
fella,
spreads,
the
so-
fella said that the tricky thing was in all this, it was the fact that, you know, nobody would let him test it out on anyone else, so he had to do it himself.
But did it work? Because the thing is with the tattoo
Yeah, it
artists,
works,
they
yeah.
can see when your skin's moved and they can see what they've done and they keep wiping it and looking, whereas the machine's just got to trust itself. So I think one needle could go wrong. If it was a lot of needles that it just came down, like, you know, 1,000 needles that was an imprint.
Yeah.
But
No,
obviously I'm asking someone who's hasn't delved any further than there's a machine that can give you a tattoo. That's all you've got at the moment, isn't it?
Well, yeah, basically.
That's all you've got.
All right.
So tell me a typical bit of dialogue.
Well, we've done the breakfast scene.
that was
okay,
dynamite.
yeah.
That's fucking Oscar winning.
Yeah, can we do lunch?
There may be, like, at the funeral, because even though the brain's still alive, they still have the funeral, and you can have, like, a funny bit where they stood around the grave, and, like, there's some relation there who he doesn't like, and she can start laughing, and the family are looking at her going, why is she laughing?
Yeah.
And she's sort of laughing, and he's saying something a bit rude, going, look at her head. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Looks like a
Stuff on the
fucking
family.
Yeah.
Little cameo for you.
Yeah.
And so you have all that, and people are sort of liking the film, thinking, oh, it's quite funny, this.
Yeah.
And then you hit them hard.
It's the most ludicrous idea for film I've ever heard. It's the maddest. Honestly, it really is the ramblings of a mental case.
I have to say though, I am hooked now. I want to know what's going to happen next in the story.
Then what happens is, she hears the voice go, Leslie, where are you? Something.
Right.
Her name's not Leslie.
No.
No.
So she's thinking, who's Leslie?
Yeah.
So in her mind, she's going, who's Leslie? He's going, oh,
So he's thought, hang on, I've let something slip.
I've
here.
let something slip. So she's going, answer me.
Oh.
He goes quiet on her.
Oh.
So
He was having an affair.
this is the thing. So she's trying to hunt down
Leslie.
Leslie.
And he's got to stop her thinking it.
Then what happens is, I mean, you know.
Where your bags?
So he's got to hunt down Leslie.
So she's got to hunt down Leslie.
It's a woman, is it? Another Leslie, or
It's
is it a
another
bloke?
woman.
Right.
But what happens is, I mean, without ruining the end for everyone, what would sort of happen is.
Oh yeah, because we don't want to ruin it for them, because this will be filling the multiplexes in no time.
No, it's the greatest love story ever told, set in a head.
But listen, let's just get to
hang
the
on a
end.
sec though, Carl. I don't. Yeah, you've got to tell us the end. I don't think you can let people
No, come on,
listening
come on, what's
hanging
the
on
end?
waiting for the film.
Just let your mouth talk.
Right, so what I said was, maybe what happens is, his brain is more powerful than hers.
Right. How is there power? Why is there no power involved?
What I mean is, her brain was running the rest of her body.
Now he's
His
taking
brain,
over.
that gets more powerful and overrules her body.
Okay.
Yeah.
She then fancies Leslie.
So it's a lesbian
hold on,
film.
this is building up to a lesbian love. So what the?
Well, it's
what?
trendy, isn't it, that? So just have a bit of that at the end, and
So hold on. So he overpowers her, so she is now a lesbian. What's Leslie getting out of this? Why does Leslie think, hold on, why is my
Because-
dead lover's wife coming on to me?
because this is what I'm saying to you, is relationships, it's a love of two brains.
Right, okay. Again, can anyone
the
out there, can we
strapline.
make that into it? That's a quote. The relationships is a love of two brains. Now, he's got something there. He's got something there. But my point is this. Why is Leslie suddenly turned lesbian?
Because she loves the brain.
But does she know this is Clive Warren?
Rebecca will say something now and again, like, oh, I like me
Minge.
I like my food done like this or whatever, and it's all about Dave
I love
likes
my
it.
food cooked. Oh my, wait a minute, Clive Warren on this food cooked.
Yeah, I'm in two minds about this bacon.
Yeah,
What
I'm
I
going
mean
to turn
is,
into a lesbian.
people
Shredded wheat.
people like what they like, and it's the same way, like I've said to you before, with someone who's been going out with a woman, and then is found out that she's got a twin sister, and they divorce that first twin and go out with the other twin. It's all the same. You're after the same thing, aren't you?
Yes, but that...
When a cat dies, you buy another one. It's the same thing. You want that same.
Yeah, but you
love
don't
for
necessarily switch your sexual orientation. In the case of your twin scenario, they both look the same.
Yeah. Has there ever been one where it's a twin boy and girl? Go, well, I was going out with her, but I mean, he looks a bit like her.
Yeah. I loved boobs, now I like cock.
This is your problem. You don't know anything. And this theory about if your mouth talks enough, the brain will kick in soon. It hasn't.
I've only been camping a few times, and each time I was glad when it was over. The last time was last year in Lyme Regis.
Yeah.
When did you go camping in Lyme Regis?
Last year. It's alright, Lyme Regis. But it was all a bit of a nightmare because I was going with my mate and he said he knew someone who knew someone who had a bit of land in the garden.
We had a bit of land in the garden.
What's the point, though, innit? You know, what's the point of camping in someone's garden where there's a sort of like a spa down the road and like a pub?
No, because you're by the sea, aren't you? It's getting away from it all, seeing the world.
It's not if you're in someone's front garden.
No, back.
Oh, sorry.
Well, there's even less to see except 3 fences.
No, but it's private, isn't it? So the thing is, he said, oh, it's a great garden, the owners are away, and there's a toilet, an outside toilet that they have
Getting
for, like,
away
when they
from
have
it,
parties
yeah.
and stuff. So we get there, and this lad who knew about this bit of land,
Someone's back garden.
well, yeah, said, oh, you can't use it, they haven't gone on holiday.
So now you're stuck in the middle of a big civilised conurbation called Lyme Regis. How are you going to survive?
Well, we ended up just sort of keeping on the beach. But
Did you pitch your tent on the beach?
put the tent on the beach, we found somewhere where there was a load of rubbish, so we thought...
nice.
That's the place to go,
Oh,
yeah.
lovely.
No,
A
but
municipal tip.
What was it? Was it chemical waste or just like, you know...
No, just Coke
just
cans and
syringes
stuff.
and,
But listen, though,
baby
you've got to
diapers,
think
sure.
about that.
Rusty, what's rusty?
If there's rubbish there, it means it was a good place to camp,
Why?
Why?
because other people have camped there.
Right.
So that's how you've got to look at it. It's a way. That's like a little tip of.
So you could have slept in a
firstly-
public lavatory.
Yeah, yeah. This one's nice. What? It's covered in shit. Means other people have had a shit here.
Welcome to our 5-star hotel. You'll notice vomit over all the fucking walls.
So that means people have had a good time here. They got right pissed up and threw their lungs up.
So that's where we put down the tent. We put down the tent there, and then what was
Somebody
annoying
put up a
is
tent, he puts down a tent.
we what's her name? We
It was already up. It
He was
carried
already
it all
they
the way
carried it all
from
the way
London.
there. They went, let's pack it down.
the weird thing was, as soon as we set up, some other people turned up.
Oh, that's all the rubbish tip. Holiday makers,
They started setting up their tents. And we're like,
Yeah.
oh.
No, look, there's some nappies over there.
Yeah.
Nearer the nappies.
And they offered us some sausages.
All right.
My mate said, "Oh, ignore them. That's like code for swingers."
What?
No!
What? So there were some people cooking some sausages,
Yeah.
saying, "Would you like the sausages? We've made too much." And you
It's
said,
just
"No,
that
that's
thing,
code
don't
for
talk
swinging."
to strangers. It's like we want to get away from it all.
Yeah.
We don't want someone. You know, it starts off with sausages, doesn't it? And then before you know it,
But what do these people look like?
they were about 45.
Who are they, there?
A man and a woman.
A man and a woman. So what was in it for the bloke?
Some people like that, don't they?
I mean,
know.
you say, right, I want the bald one, love. If it's like wife swapping, shouldn't one of you be a wife?
No, but I don't know all the rules and that. But
He's just got a real thing for fucking oranges.
and we didn't want any sausages anyway, so we just sort of
I
said,
don't believe sausages is a
Is a
code for
code for
swingers. Because eventually, how many times do they give someone sausages and they go, well, get your pants off, and they go, well, we just have some sausages. They go, oh, this isn't working, this code.
But why
we need
would
a better
they be,
code.
Why would we be being offered sausages?
Because they're nice people and they're making sausages.
Makes you wonder.
We don't. Let's not trust these people. Let's move our tent nearer to the corpse.
So yeah, that was the camping.
September 30th. Going away with Suzanne's mum and dad. We're meeting them at Madeira Airport as they're flying in from Manchester. The plane was full and I had a headache. There was a baby sat behind us that was crying its eyes out for the whole flight. The mother of it said it was upset because its ears were hurting. So were mine.
Oh, God!
We went to try and find a supermarket. Suzanne's man was having a go at her dad because he didn't have a shirt on. She said he looks a mess and is embarrassed to be seen with him. It's their Ruby anniversary tomorrow.
That's why we went away.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Carl, I know you're fascinated by the concept of the doppelganger, of seeing someone who looks exactly like you.
Yeah.
Jake has emailed in. He says, Carl, if you could spend a day with an exact replica of you, okay, so if somehow they've cloned you, Carl, and you've got him for one day, what would you do with this? What would you make him do? What conversation would you have with him? What would you do? Is there anything you could, how would you utilise him for one day?
Well, they'd both say, I'm not bothered. And that'd be the end of conversation.
What would do me head in is, does it think the same way, look the same way,
Exactly
dress
the
the
same.
Yeah.
How would I know which one I was?
Because you'd be you.
That's amazing.
No, no, no.
How would I know which
That's
one I was?
incredible.
No, because-
that is the most stupid thing ever said by a human being. Can we get the Guinness Book of Records on this? Has anyone
anywhere in the world said anything more stupid than, how would I know which one was me?
But think about it. This other person's going, all right, thanks for meeting up and that. And I go, hang on a minute. No, you came to me. And then Suzanne would come home and she wouldn't know the difference. And then suddenly you'd start doubting yourself. And you go, should I be leaving? Or... So, how do I know if I am that real one, if he knows what I know?
But you know who you are because you're experiencing
But he'd
it.
be saying that because he'd say, yeah, it is a bit weird, isn't
But
it,
you
how
know
we
the
meet,
truth, you idiot.
Because
How
you
would I
wouldn't-
know which one I was?
So anyway...
But bear in mind,
What would you do?
You could pass him off as yourself.
What would you do? Would you play tricks? Would you, you know...
You could be in two places at once.
Would you do stings? Would you do scams?
No, because it would only end up getting me into trouble, won't it? Because people won't believe that there's another one like me. Otherwise, everyone would be saying that when they get caught robbing. They go, oh, it wasn't me, it was my doppelganger. It can only... I wouldn't want it, to be honest. It's again, it's a bit of a headache, isn't it? Because he could be going off, going mental, causing all sorts of trouble, and you're going, well, you pack it in. And he's going, what? What are you on about? But then that wouldn't happen, would it? Because he's being me, so he'd be sat wherever I am anyway. Because he'd want to do what I want to do. So, pointless. But I still wouldn't want it.
It's unbelievable.
That was a conversation with himself.
That was amazing.
That was like experiencing what it would have been like if there was two Carls.
Yeah,
He's having a discussion with himself.
We could have left in that time and come back, and he'd be arguing still.
What does this mean? Does this mean... Does this mean, though, that I could just sit at home and not do anything and just send me out on...
Yes.
And when he's seen something happen, I'm seeing it.
No.
You're separate people.
You're separate people.
But then he's not a doppelganger then,
Well,
is he?
you're identical twins then. You found out identical twins and he's got exactly the same input as you. I mean, it's not a real question, is it? It's just a little... Again...
Because an owl... Do you know why an owl turns its head round? Sort of like 180 degrees?
No.
Because it can't move its eyes, because the eyes take up the whole... It's the biggest eye in the animal kingdom. The eyes take up the whole of its skull.
Really?
Yeah, and it has to move its... Yeah.
Has it got a brain in there as well?
It's got a brain in there, yeah, above the eye, yeah. When I say the whole of the skull...
Quite, yeah. There's
yeah.
also some space for the brain.
What I meant is the two diameters of the eye is the diameter of the...
You've lost me
skull.
there with diameters. And
You didn't like maths, did you?
no, don't like maths. Never understood it. Couldn't get to grips with maths. I don't know about you, Carl.
Did you do maths, Carl?
Now, how did you do in your exams on the maths? Did you do that? I bet yours was rather like my theory, which is why do you need to figure it all out when you've got a calculator?
Exactly.
Yeah, I knew it.
Yeah.
You're
And
right.
I agree.
Well, let's play a record, and afterwards I'm going to be testing you on your homework this week, Carl.
Could we do White Van Man first?
We could do... Oh, just to... No, they've got to know
just to
what
remind
they're
people.
dealing with, yeah. Carl's homework was to read all about, as you know, Che Guevara.
Absolutely.
Last week he did well on Rasputin, didn't he?
Did very well on Rasputin. Yeah,
and
pronounced with flying marks there.
So let's have a bit of Wu-Tang, shall we?
Then let's have White Van
Carl.
Man. White Van Carl. Nice.
Yeah. Wu-Tang Clan, Leslie. XFM 104.9 with Gervais, with Steve Merchant and Karl Pilkington. Now, I just remembered something else Carl's in the week. I know it's forbidden to talk to him, but I'll tell you this. He was very excited about the Friends reunited. He was a bit nervous at first, wasn't he, last week? But then he was really getting into it. And in the pub he was talking about those people, and he said, I'd never go on a reunion, though. So I'd never do that.
What, a school reunion?
Yeah, and he wouldn't want to see anyone. And I went, well, I said, wouldn't you want to see those two lads with the big heads and the webbed hands?
Oh yeah, these were people you went to school with, weren't they?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't knock about with them. They were in the class.
What were they called?
Freaks.
Right.
Right. Okay. And he said, no, I wouldn't want to see them. He said, because what could you say? Oh, you haven't changed much. Right? And he said, and they wouldn't go anyway, would they? I said, why? He went, well, they didn't have any friends.
Right.
And I said, well, weren't they friends with each other? And he went, no, that would have been too obvious. Like, they passed together and went, no, I know it's tempting, but let's not.
Everyone would think that's just what we were going to do.
Yeah.
Let's not do it.
Yeah. So they didn't even hang around with each other.
No.
See, I must say, in my head, I've got something like, it's like some sort of extra thing from Blake 7, that they're like some sort of, lagoon monster. But they just had slightly oversized heads, did they?
See, does your head grow? Your eyes don't, does your head? Because maybe they've got to a point now that it's all sort of caught up with each other.
Well, at the time, the eyes were very small and the head was huge.
Just a very big head. And
Yeah.
the fingers aren't going to change, that's not...
They had
Not
webbed fingers.
It was like the penguin in Batman.
Really? Are you sure?
No, honestly.
Are you sure they weren't wearing mittens?
No, seriously.
Yeah, they were, it wasn't home economics. They weren't getting some out of the oven, a very hot dish, were they? Every time you saw them.
But why were there two, but they weren't related and they weren't friends?
I don't know, I suppose it's like asthma and that, innit? Some kids have it. And it just was a
Yeah,
coincidence.
but asthma's quite a common thing. Webbed hands, Carl.
Yeah. I don't know, you don't think of it, do you, when you're a kid? You just sort of...
Oh,
when,
yeah,
when you first see them.
Yeah.
There goes the frogmen. Anyway, Carl, look, let's have a little quick session of White Van Man. For those that don't listen to the show regularly, the Sun, as you may know, has a section called White Van Man where a member of the public gets asked their opinions on the week's big political and social hot potatoes. Carl, we just thought it would be fun if you answered some of the questions. It's not so much questions; it's just your views, really, on these big news stories. What do you make of Olympic ski hero Alan Baxter testing positive for drugs?
What did he do?
Well, he won a gold medal in the Olympics, and
For what?
He was a skier,
Right.
and he won gold medal, and they've just tested him positive for some kind of illegal drug.
But what... I mean, if he did, why take drugs to ski?
Why?
Because all you do is balance.
But imagine, it'd be amazing if you were stoned, like going down a hill.
Yeah, it's not like you have
But
to...
it's not going to help you, is
No,
it?
it's
not
just
like-
gravity that's doing all the work, isn't it, with skiing?
Yeah, but it's often to do with your athleticism, isn't it? It's
No,
to
but it'd
help
be
you.
like saying, and we've just found out the people on the toboggan were on crack. It's not going to help them. You sit there and you go with the flow,
Yeah,
and you hold
could
on.
I say, the drugs he was
Apparently
taking...
that's his defence,
Probably,
Carl.
he probably wasn't jacking up H or, you know, dropping a few E's or getting stoned. He was probably taking more sort of,
Steroids.
performance-enhancing drugs, as opposed to him just, like, scoring some shit around the corner
But-
from someone,
but that
getting
doesn't-
off his tits and jumping in a toboggan. Doesn't mean that, does it?
He wasn't off his nut.
Yeah, yeah. You tested you, you pissed out your head.
But why doesn't he just say, don't be stupid, why would I do that? It's just not going to help me out.
But it is, isn't it? Because performance-enhancing
Hold
drugs
on,
do.
wait a minute, Steve, wait a minute. Carl, right, look at this way. Okay, look at me, yeah? Have I got his attention?
Yeah, the lights glinting off your ring there.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
attracted to.
Okay, right, now, keep concentrating. Right. Some athletes, you're aware they take drugs, that's to build up
Swimmers
muscle.
and stuff.
Yeah, swimmers. For
Runners.
example, runners, yeah. Not only do they help build muscle, right, but they can actually, you know, give them a boost performance-wise,
Yeah.
sort of like steroids and all this sort of stuff, right? So that's the sort of thing we're talking about, okay?
Right, so
He,
again,
he wasn't
why
on a
would
bong
that help
before...
you?
What?
Why would that help you when you... All you've got to do is balance on skis.
Not when you're at the Olympic level.
Yeah.
There's a lot to do with, you know, your body and your
No, it's
legs.
practice, isn't it? It's like, if you've skied for years, then you've got good balance after a bit.
Oh, do you know what, Carl? Do you know what? You've made a mockery of drug taking. Well done. Right,
Yeah.
next one, Steve.
I hate this bit. I hate this.
I don't know if you saw it. What did you make of Posh Spice's Warts and All documentary?
Yeah, I saw a bit of it.
What did you make of it?
I mean, people are slagging them off, aren't they? Saying, you know, she's daft and that, but
Don't you.
she's... I think they're all right, honestly.
Yeah,
You
I think
know,
they're all right.
she's all right. I mean, I think David's really a decent bloke.
Sure.
Um,
Would you agree that he's quite a simple man?
yeah, but he's a footballer. He doesn't need to be... Do you know what I mean? It's like me.
Yeah.
Like, you know, all right, I only got an E in history. But knowing about the Tudors doesn't help me press these buttons and put the next CD on.
No, sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, good luck to him, and he's done well out of it, and it's just jealousy.
Yeah.
I remember, though, when I was back in Manchester, I was in Piccadilly train station, and he was there, right? Not as big a star as he is now,
Yeah.
back then, but he was stood there, and I was so close to going over to him and saying, did you go to my school? Because I recognised his face, but I didn't know who he was. Do you know when you sort of go, sure, I went to school, it's not the one with the big head,
Yeah.
but I do recognise him. Then my girlfriend got off the train, and I said, I'm sure I know him. She said, yeah, it's David Beckham. And I was
Oh,
so
thank
close
God
to
for your
going over.
girlfriend. Does she get an awful lot of scrapes, does she?
She does, yeah.
Okay, what about the fact that the pension crisis
Sure.
is going to force Britons to work into their 70s, Carl? You might have to carry on working into your 70s before you can claim a pension.
I think it's a good thing. Because you see a lot of old people who look bored.
Okay.
And I honestly think if you keep your brain busy,
Yeah.
you'll live longer.
Yeah.
It's only when you actually shut down, right, that's when your body sort of dies because it doesn't feel it has a purpose. It's like if you've got flu, keep going to work. If you have a day off, you just feel worse. You'll mope about at home. Doesn't do you any good.
What about,
whatsoever.
where do you draw the line then? What if you say lose a finger? Pop into work?
Depends. If you can't concentrate because it's painful.
But what if you're a typist?
Or
You're not going to
pianist.
type as many words, but you'll do more at work than you would having a day off at home.
Sure. Okay. Tony Blair turning trendy with his Paul Smith designed naked lady shirt. I don't know if you've seen this. It's the one with the pictures of naked ladies on the cuffs.
And, you know, I mean...
Okay. And finally...
how's that? See, this is what annoys me about this feature. It's just, what's that? So what?
Yeah, but it's the Prime Minister of this country wearing a trendy shirt with naked ladies on the cuffs.
Alright.
Okay. And finally, what do you make of the fact that Top of the Pops have banned Will Young singing both tracks on the #1 slot, and consequently he wasn't on there at all? They had to show the video. The first time anyone's ever made this demand. He wants to sing both the A and B side.
Well, he can't.
It's double A, yeah.
Double A side.
That's what he wanted to...
That isn't how it works, is it?
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
And the thing is, which one... I mean, at the end of the day, loads of people have bought it, haven't they? And it's
Yes.
like one of the
Yeah.
best... So it doesn't really matter what it does, because people have got it, they can listen to what song they want at home. Doesn't matter about what Top of the Pops do.
Yes.
And it's just annoyed me now. It's...
Who's annoyed you?
Just what goes on in the world. I'll tell you, you're better off not knowing. It's better being in my little world. If that's what people are talking about on the streets and asking the white van man, do you know what I mean?
I think you're right, Carl. I think you're right.
Jeez.
Shall I play a lovely song for you? Because you're getting all stressed now, aren't you?
I've not had a good day.
No, I know. We tell you about it later. It's not a good day. Well, I'm going to play a Neil Young track here of Harvest. It's Alabama. It's beautiful, and this is for Carl.